You might remember last night we spoke to comedian Rod Quantock, who lost thousands when he fell victim to an elaborate banking scam. Rod wanted to share his story to raise awareness. Today, we have been flooded with messages from other victims because it turns out it's happened to a lot of you. Here are some of your stories.
And I thought, I'm going to tell the world about this because I'm a tiny fraction of a national disaster.
Losing that amount of money, yeah, it changes your life. We're not rich people by any means. Actually, I'm getting a little bit emotional talking about it now, sorry.
This is Andrew. In September last year, he got a call from the HSBC fraud department who told him his account had been compromised.
He had our names, our location, address, money in the bank accounts. He knew everything. He had answers to everything.
But the call was fake. For more than an hour, Andrew was on the phone to a scammer. In that time, he handed over a one-time security code, giving the scammer access to his account. They stole $50,000.
I would have thought if the bank was onto it, that would have been stopped. But unfortunately, it took months and they've come back and said, no, we can't do anything about it. It's your fault.
Last year, Aussies lost $2.74 billion to scammers, but in the year to June 2022, only 2 to 5% of losses were reimbursed across the 4 big banks.
Banks are blaming the victim because they don't want to pay the money. It costs a lot of money to invest in the technologies that will keep their customers safe online.
In the UK, banks will be forced to compensate scam victims. The idea, to incentivise banks to invest in fraud detection and prevention. But the Australian Banking Association is resisting, claiming it would create a honeypot effect, encouraging scammers to target Aussies more often.
It's a bizarre argument because we're a honeypot now and the scammers know that.
81% of victims say their bank failed to flag a scam before the transfer was made. Victims left to carry the burden of the loss. Like Scott and Danielle, who yesterday lost $98,000, their entire life savings.
It's almost immoral for banks to continue down this path. There's billions of dollars been lost by so many people, and to sort of continue the dragging of the feed, it's just wrong.
Like Andrew, Scott took a call from a scammer posing as Bendigo Bank's fraud team. And just like Andrew, he gave the scammer a personal security code. Now, Scott and Danielle have just over $1,500 to live on, and they don't know what to do.
Scott and Danielle are with us now. Scott, this has to have been unbelievably rough. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty disappointed and very frustrated. It's heartbroken as well, I guess. Yeah.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah, and we know there are reasons for that, and we want to come to that and give us a full sense of that in a sec. But before we get there, let's talk about the scam itself. How clever was it?
I have pretty much no online footprint. I've never had social media. I don't do much even on my phone outside of the usual things. And by the time this guy had called me, he knew all of my internet banking details. He knew my access codes. He knew the security systems the Bendigo Bank used. He knew details about me that you can only get once you're logged in. And I asked him if he could prove it was him, and he sent me a message which came up with from the Bendigo Bank, like in the existing chain of messages I already had from legitimate conversations.
Oh, you mean like in the thread on your phone? So in the thread on your phone, you've got a thing that says Bendigo Bank, and there's got all the historic texts you sent between them and you, and it's turned up in that thread.
Yeah, correct.
Oh.
What's been the impact of this loss on you both? I mean, this was your life savings.
We have no money left, only what I got paid from work, and that's not going to last very long. And, you know, we just recently found out that our dog has got cancer all through her body, so we have tons of vet bills to try and just keep her comfortable and alive for a little bit longer. And Scott is on income protection because he's had knee surgery, and all of everything that he got paid out has gone because he got paid out in advance. And basically our future plans, so we had set aside money for our vet bills for our dog, and we
we wanted to start IVF because we've been trying for a while to no success, not even like a little bit of sort of hope. So a lot of it was going towards IVF. We haven't told our family any of this, so hope you're watching.
Sorry, family.
So yeah, we were really hoping to sort of use it for, I think what we figured out to be about 10 rounds.
We thought we'd get about 10
And
rounds,
we'll
which
probably
we were
need
really
at least
hopeful
the
for.
10 rounds from our track history. So that was the biggest goal. But yeah, also, you know, buying groceries, paying a power bill, that sort of stuff would have been nice as well.
Mainly it's sort of like where, you know, it's making our life plans take even longer, which I'm not a very patient person. We've been trying for a baby for a really long time. So this was literally happening next month to start all of our treatment. So it's just really hard.
Guys, we are just so sorry that you're going through this. It's just these bloody scumbags are out there and destroying lives. But in the last 24 hours, you've also seen the very best of people. Your neighbours have come through to lend you some money, including their little girl.
Oh, yeah. So
Are you going to be able to say this or are you going to cry?
our neighbours, Felipe, Claire and their daughter, Amara, we went round to their house last night just to let them know because Felipe had also been scammed in a different way and we just needed his advice, and we just told them our situation, everything that happened, and literally like 5 minutes later they came around with a little care package of sweets and chocolate and money, and Amara, the little girl, she had even given us like all of her like pocket money and Pokemon cards and drew us a little love heart. Like, we're very lucky like that.
It sounds like I'm going to say when the baby does arrive, you've got plenty of people you could name it after. Thanks so much for speaking to us tonight. And
Waleed White?
well, no. I mean, it's a great option, but it's not what I meant. Guys, I'm so sorry this has happened. Here's hoping you get the money back one way or another. And actually, that there's government or corporate action to stop this sort of thing just happening. We could do a story like this every day, it feels like, and that's just not an acceptable cost of doing business. So, guys, thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have statements from both HSBC and Bendigo Bank on our website if you would like to check them out. Bendigo said they, and this is a quote, attempt to recover funds lost to scams wherever possible. It goes without saying when the bank is at fault, we will reimburse customers for the loss of funds. That's the end quote. This did only happen a day ago for Scott and Danielle, so fingers crossed Bendigo Bank will be able to help them, but I guess we'll find out.
It's off the chain. So they've been scammed, their neighbour's been scammed, you've been
I was scammed
scammed.
recently, yeah.
Have you been scammed?
I meant scam, but I've been skimmed. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
there's been
Yeah,
a security
right.
breach where they've taken just all the money in the bank.
My husband's been scammed. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on?
Gee, that means I'm next. It's that common, right?
Surprise.
Change your
It
password,
is.
Sarah.
It's
When-
inevitable.
When the bank says, oh, look, you know, it's not our fault, well, aren't they supposed to be protecting our information so this doesn't happen? I mean, that's what makes it so believable when these people call, that they know so much about you and your personal
Well,
situation.
you got to think when it starts hurting the bank financially. You got to think that's when they'll kind of really put an end to it and try to stop it. Obviously, it's not because they're not doing anything
At the point
about it.
where Australians decide that it's safer for them not to have a bank
Yeah, we
account,
pull it all
Yeah.
out.
That's
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
where
But it's not an option now.
it's not for... Well,
they-
your cash revolution.
Thank you.
cash,
Thank
yeah.
you.